That's me with level 74, and that's an 8 million crit. Followed up by just completely devastating dungeons left and right, dropping millions and millions and millions of crit in every single engagement. How does that work? It's the combination of an absolutely overpowered Malignant Heart that will not get nerfed, and the Sever Summoner just having some insane base crits already. The heart in question is the Barber Heart, which I dropped in World Tier 4, but I've heard reports from viewers they've already gotten in World Tier 3 as well. It is a Wrathful Heart. That means it can go in every single socket color, and you can only have one Wrathful Heart active. The Barber Heart reads following: critical strikes and all subsequent damage within 2 to 4 seconds is absorbed by your target. Then the absorbed damage erupts onto surrounding enemies. Stored damage is increased by 15% per second, and the percentual value can vary. Also, the time, obviously 2.7, 3.1, 4 seconds, can be everything in between. Now, I personally thought this heart is going to be bad because it says the absorbed damage erupts onto surrounding enemies. Ergo, the actual target that you're targeting, the boss or anyone, would not take the initial damage because it erupts on the surrounding. That's wrong. This deals damage to the target and everyone around. So if you have an area ability, you add even more area to it. And let's say you do a 1 million crit plus another 1 million damage afterwards, or even 500,000, 700,000, so 1.7 million damage. And that gets amplified for every second in the enemy, or 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 15%, 15%, 15%, multiplicative increased. And that's how a good 1-2 million crit can suddenly turn into 8 million and even more damage. Now, I see the tiny cocks turning in your head already. Yes, if we play this together with the Ring of Mendon Summoner, that can do a couple of million with all your minions at the same time and then follow-up damage and even more. This is probably going to be absolutely insane as well. But right now, I'm here to present you the Sever Summoner, which is going for full crit. And yes, even the crit hard that reduces your normal damage multiplicatively low, but it gives you so much bonus crit that I'm almost at 500% critical strike damage with a 50% critical strike chance. Holy moly. How does the Sever Summoner work now? Gameplay loop, skill breakdown, Paragon points, aspects, itemization, and yes, I'll go down on the item stats as well as requested in the comments. I see your questions. New gameplay loop for maximum efficiency. We actually had to get rid of the sacrilegious heart, so no more auto casting skeletons and no more auto casting corpse tendrils. Now how do we engage? We go in, we reap, corpse, curse, very important, and then we can just kill everything. You could also engage with blood mist or corpse explosion to get your stacks up, then essentially pull everything together, and if everything's not dead, well, we follow up with even more damage. Don't forget to resummon your skeletons in between because they're currently weak. I don't have much minion life. Again, the different engage was blood mist, reap, corpse, curse, very important. Pull them together, and well, everything dead. This is even more efficient if the minions actually have more HP, because in higher nightmare dungeons they stay alive for a few more seconds, and if they stay alive for a few more seconds, then your Barber Heart that does damage multiplication for 2.7 seconds in my case for 15x per, well, that one will just go crazy, right? Oh, look, the boss is there. Example, boss fight. Against the boss fight, it always will be a little bit trickier to get your shadow stuff up, but nonetheless, just get your shadow stuff up, pull it together, curse, walk to the side, start critting. He gets immune because you started critting and stacking up damage. Pull everything together again. Oh, he's dead. What happened? Oh, yeah, boss fight. Hi. Boss fight. That might have been one of these 20 million crates. Skill breakdown. Reap. Into Acolyte's Reap for the bonus corpse and also bonus attack speed as you kill someone, generally giving you damage reduction as well. 5 points in Sever to boost that up, and also the 2% bonus damage for each minion life, which is 22% multiplicative bonus damage increase. And also your minions mitigate damage, help you to stay alive. Very useful, and they give you bonus essence with the Frost Mages. 3 points in Hued Flesh to always have enough corpses that you can actually explode with Corpse Explosion and Blighted Corpse Explosion. That's important for your aspects, more in the aspect tab. And then Blood Mist to make corpses, so you always have enough to corpse explode and also to pull together with tendrils. Also, there's a 1 to 50 in the description below where to put which point at which level. Boost your Skeletal Mages, get Fueled by Death, and yes, I have an amulet with 3 more in Fueled by Death, which does, instead of 9% damage, now 18% multiplicative. Super nice. Also have Death Reach for distant and then Death Embrace for close enemies. So the same, close, distance, doing the maximum damage. We have Iron Maiden in here with 4 free Iron Maiden that can also give us essence back as we're cursing. Very useful. And then Decrepify with Abhorrent Decrepify. And that is going to be used with the Heart to autocast the whole time. That you can use Iron Maiden for the bonus damage. Amplify for another 12% as well. Skeletons boosted. Get everything in the Terror and Gloom department so you do the maximum shadow stacking damage. Vulnerable with the Corpse Tendril, so 1 point into Necrotic Carapace. And then we have 2 points here, Inspiring Leader. That is bonus attack speed for you and your minions for more essence, really useful, and Shadow Blight. What we could do is, because we mostly stand close to people with a Death Embrace, could actually put the points out of Death Reach. But we're also shooting from a distance every now and then, so Death Reach is also useful. This is for staying alive. This is for the bonus damage. And you could put some points into Death Defense. But personally, I noticed I don't actually care if my minions die, because I'll just resummon them straight away and get bonus essence. So I figured out for myself that the Death Defense isn't actually that useful, and it doesn't keep your minions that much more alive, especially at Is Your level 100. You have 5 items with maximum minion life. I really don't need it. It has turned out I really don't need it. So I usually put that into Death Reach, but if you hate how your minions are dying, put the 3 points out of Death Reach out, 1 more point in Inspiring Leader, and 2 points into Death Defense. I don't think I can glean another point from anywhere to actually put it in there, so that's your only option to go with. For the aspects and items, I almost have the perfect rundown already. First, the 3 hearts. Decrepit Aura for 1 enemy. I found that the 0 enemy sometimes is bugged and doesn't work. Then Vicious Heart for 80% bonus crit. Then Vicious Heart for 80% plus bonus critical strike damage. And that gets multiplied by 30% because of our Golem. So that's generally good. And then non-critical strikes deal 40% less damage. That doesn't matter because together with the Barber Heart, that as soon as you crit strike, every subsequent damage gets multiplied up again. And we do so many crits. I mean, right now we are at a 30% critical strike chance with our Corpse Tendrils giving us another 13 plus. And the Corpse Tendrils will actually land in the long run on the Amulet over the Shadow Blight key passive stacking to give us even more critical strike chance. Now, again, you need Grasping Veins actually, because that one is extremely good for the bonus critical strike damage and chance. But that should go on the Amulet because right now we have the Shadow Blight key passive stacker for more Shadow Blight key passive damage. But that one is actually going to go away completely. What you want is Blood Mist leaves a trail of shadows, so that trail of shadows actually triggers your Shadow Blight key passive that you can then use the most important one, and that is you deal 128% increased damage up to 240. I still haven't found one with 240 for 6 seconds after Shadow Blight key passive damages enemies 10 times. So as soon as we damage enemies 10 times with the Shadow Blight key passive, which goes really fast with the corpse explosions, with your severs, with everything, then you do a huge amount of bonus damage, and that's where the gigantic crits are coming from. Corpse Explosion on the boots, because they can actually go on the boots. Yes, really important to get the Corpse Explosion like this. Then Hardened Bones for the damage reduction. Bonus damage, 50% Shadow for Decrepify and Iron Maiden on the enemy. Yes, multiply this with the key passive and your other multipliers and the critical strike damage. Beautiful. Then Skeletal Warriors and Skeletal Mages. My helmet, for example, being the perfect itemization right now. Maximum life, total armor, intelligence, and all stats. Everything you need because you need a lot of int, but you also need a lot of dex to activate all the Paragon nodes. That gets followed by the chest, which is maximum life, total armor, damage reduction from enemies that are affected by shadow dot damage. Insane. And now the darkness skill damage should actually be maximum minion life, and this one would be the best chest in the world. My pants being exactly that. Total armor, damage reduction while fortified, good enough. And then maximum life and maximum minion life high rolls. That's what you're looking for. On your chest, on your pants, on your rings, essentially. One maximum minion life and maximum life. This one here, for example, has maximum life, lucky hit chance, critical strike chance, and shadow damage. It's really good, but I could reroll the shadow damage now into minion life, and that would be also nice. But I might keep this ring because it's just really good. This one is, for example, terrible because I just have it because I haven't found a better one, to be honest. On your weapon, what you want to have is critical strike damage, vulnerable damage, perfect. Then core skill damage is its own multiplier, and intelligence for essentially all damage plus. It's the perfect, I haven't found a better weapon. This is perfect. And it's a sword, which also gives us critical strike damage plus 21%. Straight up brilliant. For boots, I mainly go stat-wise for just mere stats. because it's essence cost reduction, cool, but then in strength, all stats. It's just perfect, boosting us up for more armor, for more damage, and for more critical strike chance. Because on the gloves, you go for critical strike chance, plus 12%, 4 ranks in Sever, plus 63 dex, more critical strike chance as well. Yes, boost that. Now, as you've noticed, on the amulet or on one ring, we'll have a slot open because the corpse tendrils will go over the Shadowblight key passive stacking ability, because we don't actually deal damage with the Shadowblight key passive. We do damage with maximum crits. So we have one aspect open, and very important, by the way, the Codex of Power has the aspect of the Damned for the Decrepify item maiden damage. Yes, you can clear a dungeon, Ulder's Cave. It has the Shadowblight key passive for the bonus damage in Aken's Grasp. Also, so you can 100% on a 200 weapon. Perfect. Clear that straight away. And if you really can't find corpse tendrils, you just do the Corrupted Grotto and you get that one as well. Now, the one I'm probably going to add is going to be Atchmaster's Aspects. Skills deal up to 20% increased damage based on your available primary resource when cast, receiving the maximum benefit while you have full primary resource. And I think that's what I might use, because it's just a flat multiplicative increase to even do more damage. And I just have to have essence for it. Grasp everything together. First 2 casting might be crits, and then 20% bonus damage or not, 10%, 15%, whatever you're getting. I mean, it seems beautiful to me. Why wouldn't I give it just a roll there? Paragon board, first glyph, control. For every 5 in purchased, increase damage to crowd control targets and 20% bonus damage to stunned or frozen, and we permanently stun with the corpse tendrils. As the first board, we're going for Send of Death. You want to gate that straight away, and we take Send of Death first because there's crit, and then followed up by crit. So we have more crit notes here. That would be double armor, also very nice, and this is damage to injured and bonus in for flat damage increase. As the glyph, we're taking Imbiber. That's for every 5 willpower purchase within range, you deal increased damage while healthy. That's a very nice multiplier, and the Imbiber here with the willpower has 2 willpower notes, another 3, then we have 2 more if we want to. So a bunch of willpower notes in general. That gets followed up by the Debt Razor board, and mainly for the Debt Razor board, we need the damage reduction, the Debt Razor glyph in, for also the bonus damage whenever you and your minions deal damage, and then even more damage reduction. And we're going down to the most important one, and that's Flesh Eater. Flesh Eater is a 40% multiplicative damage increase as you consume 5 corpses, and that's easily possible. And you get crit. Even more crit. And then we're actually going here for Essence. For every 5 dex purchased, you deal increased critical strike damage. That's +2 here, but the +15 rune is like 6 critical strike damage for every 5 dex. And then critical strikes deal 20% multiplicative increased damage to enemies that are not healthy. So as soon as they're below 80%, with your Barber rune, you do 22% increased critical strike on top. That then gets multiplied by the 14-15% or whatever you had. And you notice dex. There is like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in total to boost that. Pretty good. Followed up by the Wither board. What we really want to have here is the bonus shadow damage, because that's what you're dealing, shadow damage, and that's 20%. And then shadow. And we're also putting the darkness in that gets higher for willpower. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There'd be a 7 if we want to. So there's a bunch of willpower nodes up. And also very important, damage to shadow dot enemies. So they're afflicted by shadow dot damage, your corpse explosion, and then damage to elites as well. Very important note to take, which then flies over the Bone Graft board. Bone Graft board has a very cool one with 2% max life, 8% max life and 100 armor, and another 2% max life. So that's like 12-14% bonus. And then we're flying up here into the armor clad for the minions with bonus armor and life. And the life they get here is multiplicatively applied to the life they already have, making them ultra sturdy. Now, if you have a few points left, try flashing out your nodes, because that's where the real damage is. You have here the glyph, and you could take another, we said willpower here. We could take even more willpower up here. And we could probably dig into more intelligence for the control as well. That's what you then kind of do, like try to flash out as much as possible. And this one we flashed out to the max. Tops, what you could do is try to reach this one here for shadow damage and shadow damage over time, but you don't really deal shadow damage over time. It's just for the little bit of 10% bonus shadow damage. This doesn't hurt to get. Now go out there, get your Barber Heart. I found it in 1 hour, 2 of them by just going in Malignant Tunnel, Malignant Tunnel, Malignant Tunnel. We killed also the Echo of Varshan in World Tier 4 every single time. And that helped very well to actually get the Barber Heart quick. Also an important heads up, these builds are never meant for you to use every single build. This is me just presenting you all the beautiful options and you choose which one you enjoy the most. So if you're more interested in the Blood Surge Summoner, play that. Or if you want to play a super only minion without Mendon build, well, there's a build for you as well.